31.
Phil Christie here. Those Boston stations don't always understand weather in the Merrimack Valley. Stay informed with WAVE weather every 30 minutes, 24 hours a day on Soft Gold, WHAV.
Catch the wave!
Melinda's Garden Moments help gardeners create and maintain a healthy, beautiful garden with ease, inside or out and all year long. This is Melinda Myers, inviting you to tune in every weekday morning right here on WHAV. You'll learn creative ways to grow your own vegetables and herbs while beautifying your landscape. Eco-friendly lawn care, flower garden design basics, unique container gardens, attracting birds and butterflies to the landscape, and much more. Again, please join me weekday mornings for Melinda's Garden Moment for a very environmentally friendly approach to gardening. Remember, only local radio can bring you this feature opportunity, but only WHAV does.
Wave weather!
I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre with Wave Weather. Heading through the nighttime hours, it's going to be partly cloudy, but really just about any time there could be a shower or thunderstorm moving on through. It's going to be muggy with a low of 69, maybe some fog late tonight too. Now, Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, hazy, humid, upper 80s to near 90, maybe a late day thunderstorm. Tuesday night, a chance of a thunderstorm, partly cloudy otherwise, and 70. And then Wednesday, partly sunny, scattered thunderstorms and temperatures in the mid-80s. I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre. Your next Wave Weather in 30 minutes.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin B. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
This is Tim Coco here to introduce a special guest host, the longtime, probably longest-serving host of this program. Here is none other than Jack Bevelaqua. And don't forget, Jack, this hour of the Open Mic Show is being brought to you by Northern Essex Community College. Expect more at Northern Essex.
Welcome to the Open Mic. I'm Jack Bevelaqua, hosting the Open Mic tonight. We've got plenty to talk about this evening. And, of course, we do have a fabulous trivia prize tonight. We have one free admission to Whittier's birthplace. First of all, I've got to come up with a trivia question. We'll come up with that later. I have a whole list of things to talk about tonight, so feel free to call in 978-374-1900. Let me start off with the big news in Haverhill over the last couple of months. That was the old Woolworth building in downtown Haverhill. For 40 years, that building has been basically empty, and there was Woolworth, and then there was one other business in there. We used that as a trivia prize the last time I was here 6 months ago, and somebody won it, so we won't do it again. Harbor Place is to be called, was introduced with great fanfare several months ago by Haverhill Mayor James Fiorentini. Well, apparently, Harbor Place may be sinking into the river. Unfortunately, the city of Haverhill decided as an incentive to bring Harbor Place here to give up half the downtown parking deck. The parking deck in downtown Haverhill was supposed to be used to attract retail business there. Well, that hasn't happened. Now, it certainly isn't going to happen now if you guarantee half the parking places to a Harbor Place that may or may not be built. I think originally Harbor Place was supposed to be 8 stories high, 7 stories high. Now it's down to 3. If I come back in 6 months, it's probably going to be a clam shack. I'm not surprised, but that's unfortunate. Something else that I noticed with some dismay was the Massachusetts State Legislature decided not to expand the bottle bill. Why, I'll never know. I mean, the roads are still covered with water bottles and iced tea cans all over the place. And with the bottle bill, people bring the cans back to the store, and they get a refund. And the amount of Coca-Cola and Pepsi bottles and beer bottles all over the roads has disappeared because people go around, pick them up, and cash them into the store. Why the bottle bill was rejected by the legislature was probably driven by the greedy bottling industry and the retail industry here in Massachusetts. The existing bottle bill has not hurt the retail outlets at all in Massachusetts, so you tell me why the bottle bill was rejected by the Massachusetts legislature. I suspect that campaign contributions had something to do with it. Going down my list even further, we've got Groveland Community TV. Why they have Groveland Community TV is a mystery to me. It's like watching silent movies. I was at my mother's house the other day, and I was just kind of sitting there. Besides watching the Weather Channel constantly, I figured I'd see what was going on in Groveland. So I put it on Groveland Community TV. First of all, the camera angles are awful, and there is no audio. So I figured I'd go to Haverhill Community TV on Channel 22. And lo and behold, Haverhill Community TV has a Groveland Little League game with no commentary. Things are pretty tough around here. Going down the list even further, I was very happy to see that the minimum wage here in Massachusetts has recently been raised. I was concerned that the local Democratic state senator Ives voted against increasing the minimum wage. Once again, I think that campaign contributions from retail interests in Newburyport swayed her vote. I don't like when politicians are bought and paid for, but you've got kids out there and other people who are making the minimum wage, and increasing the minimum wage is good for those people, and it does not have a negative impact on business. So there's another example, the bottle bill and the expansion and the minimum wage voted against by Democrats in this area. In particular, I believe the local state senator Carol Ives, and she should be ashamed of herself. She wants to call herself a Democrat. I think she ought to just change parties and become a Republican. So Sean Toohey would look very attractive to me as a candidate if I could vote here. But I vote in Utah, so I don't have much of a choice. I just go straight Democrat. And out there, Democrats are in the minority. As you know, I live in St. George, Utah, and it's Republicans everywhere. It's absolutely amazing. That's okay. But keep in mind that Massachusetts, when I was a kid, used to be a Republican state. The local state reps were all Republicans, and the local state senators and the governor were all Republicans as well. The U.S. senators were Republicans too. So there's hope for Utah because Massachusetts used to be a Republican state, and now it's Democratic. So other states will probably wise up and go the same way. Speaking of Republicans, I noticed that Scott Brown, who was dumped as a U.S. Senator here in Massachusetts, is now decided that he is a New Hampshire resident and he's running for the U.S. Senate in New Hampshire. I predict that Scott Brown will be defeated. I think he'll be defeated in the Republican primary by Bob Smith, who used to be the U.S. Senator from New Hampshire. People in New Hampshire don't like some carpetbagger coming in from Massachusetts and saying, I'm going to be a U.S. Senator. Oh, I moved to my vacation home in Rye. That makes me a New Hampshire resident. Scott Brown doesn't have a chance. Going down my list even further, I was down to Plum Island the other day, right before Hurricane Arthur, and I get a kick out of the people down on Plum Island. They want the state, local, and federal government to spend millions of your tax dollars to save wealthy, the vacation homes of the wealthy people down at Plum Island. We spend millions of dollars to replenish they spent millions of dollars last year to replenish the beach at Plum Island. It was gone in 6 months because the tide's down. You put sand on the beach and one storm comes by and the multi-million-dollar project just goes away. What they do down there is you spend millions of taxpayer dollars to fix the beach, and the people go running around putting up no trespassing signs and no parking signs. They want your money, but they don't want you. I also noticed that the Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce has a new chairperson. I've decided to change the name of the Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce to the Republican Chamber of Commerce. The person who is leading the Chamber of Commerce was once the executive director of the Londonderry Chamber. Seems to me that going from Londonderry, New Hampshire, which is a very, very large metropolitan area, to become the chairman of the Haverhill Chamber of Commerce is a huge step in the wrong direction. What does a Chamber of Commerce in Haverhill do? Well, first of all, half their members come from New Hampshire, so they can't do anything good for Haverhill. And then they decide to have Scott Brown, the same Republican carpetbagger who was running for U.S. Senate in New Hampshire, as their main speaker at one of their dinners. And the dinner was happened to be held not here in Haverhill. No, they held it in Windham, New Hampshire. Windham is not even a member of the Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce. I've always said that the Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce is the most useless organization in the state of Massachusetts. I continue to have that opinion. We took care of that. One other thing I wanted to mention: we are going to draw the name of the monthly cake winner here on the open mic tonight. I am disappointed that the open mic staff decided to use my Chinese cowboy hat as the repository of the ticket. So we're going to draw that. We're going to draw that a little bit later. See who won the cake. Let's see. I've got something about the cake here somewhere. Oh yes, you can win a fabulous cake from Debbie D's Italian Bakery here in Bradford. We give away a cake once a month. It's a 7-inch cake, and the Debbie D's Italian Bakery is located at 140 South Main Street in Bradford. They're open Monday through Saturday, 6 to 6, Sunday, 6 to 4. Their telephone number is 978-241-9543. So you can win a fabulous cake here on the open mic by simply giving us a call at 978-374-1900, and we will put your name in the Chinese cowboy hat. After we draw tonight, we'll reload the hat, and so you can win a cake here on the open mic. So that's all you got to do. And once I come up with a trivia question during the next break, you can win a free ticket to the Whittier's birthplace. I just got to come up with a question. So if you would like to call and participate in the open mic tonight, give us a call at 978-374-1900. We're going to be here until 8:30 tonight. Now, I already going back to the Chamber of Commerce, I think that the Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce should have drafted Mark LeMay, former WHAV news director, as the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce. Mark is very competent, knows what he's doing, has been around, and he would have been the best choice to lead the Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce. I don't even know if he applied for the job, but if I had anything to do with the selection, Mark LeMay would have been my choice. Going further down the list, I noticed that Jim, this is like the time machine here. I started doing the open mic program back in the mid-'80s sometime, and you had the same cast of characters at City Hall as you got now. You go to the time machine, we still have city councilors, Bobby Scatamaccia, you still have Bill Ryan, and you still have the same cast of characters running the city. In fact, Jim Fiorentini's been around for the last 20 years. I guess they don't like change here in Haverhill. I do think that Fiorentini manages to do a pretty good job with what he's got to deal with. At least he's got a city council that doesn't filibuster everything he tries to do. I also would like to know what's going on down at Pentucket Regional High School. I drove by there the other day, and the field hockey field out front is all dug up, and the tennis courts are gone. So what are they doing at Pentucket? I just don't know. I try to watch Groveland Community TV, but of course you can't even hear what they're saying. If you want to become informed in Groveland, the thing that you do is you don't watch Groveland Community TV. Ideally, the open mic show, which is broadcast nationwide at WHAV.tv, and then it's also on Haverhill Community Television Channel 22. It's on cable TV in Andover, Haverhill, Methuen, Plastow, and Sandown. It used to be on in Groveland, but the politicos over there decided they didn't want people to find out what the real news was. They'd rather put on an obscure Little League baseball game than put on real news. Why any money goes to Groveland Community TV, I'll never know. It's a mystery to me. But the government over there isn't what I would call good. I think I would have to label Groveland's government with a big fat F. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, the U.S. Supreme Court. The abortion clinic buffer zones went away. So if some woman wants to go in and get information on an abortion or on family planning, she has to run a gauntlet from all these right-wing yahoos holding signs. Is it time for a break? We'll be right back. But if you want to go to a Planned Parenthood clinic in Massachusetts, you've got to run the gauntlet of the right-wing yahoos. We'll be back right after this.
Open mic!
Tim Coco and the open mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
If you want to know what's going on at WHAV, sign up for the free monthly wavelength newsletter online at whav.net.
Catch the wave.
This is Tom Hartman inviting you to tune to the Tom Hartman program on WHAV every weekday beginning at 3. I'll be here 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, taking your calls live. We'll tackle critical issues that impact working people at home, on the job, and throughout society. The Tom Hartman program is your media support group for We the People. Again, please join me weekdays beginning at 3 right here on WHAV. Remember, only local radio can bring you this progressive talk opportunity, but only WHAV does.
Expect more from Northern Essex. With campuses in Haverhill and Lawrence, Northern Essex Community College is the only state college located in the Lower Merrimack Valley region of Massachusetts. Northern Essex offers over 70 associate degree and certificate programs in the areas of health, business, computers and technology, criminal justice, liberal arts, and more. NECC also provides hundreds of non-credit courses designed for career growth and personal enrichment. For more information, visit necc.mass.edu. Expect more from Northern Essex.
Today is July 7th. On this day in 1848, Dr. Harriet K. Hunt of Boston, one of the nation's first female physicians, made a visit to the Shaker community in Harvard. She found much to her liking. There were male and female healers, and they were highly skilled in the homeopathic medicine she herself practiced. They used herbal remedies, water cures, careful hygiene, and exercise with such success that Shakers were famed for their longevity. Equally unusual, Shaker communities accorded women a status equal to men, something that Harriet Hunt had struggled hard to achieve in her own life. Refused admission to Harvard Medical School, Hunt became an advocate for women's rights, their right to vote, to enter the professions, and especially their right to attend established medical colleges. For more about this and other Mass Moments, go online to massmoments.org. Brought to you by the Massachusetts Foundation for the Humanities.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin B. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome back to the Open Mic. I'm Jack Bevelaqua, guest hosting tonight here on WHAV. If you'd like to participate in the program, give us a call at 978-374-1900. So far, we've talked about the sinking of Harbor Place, the failure of the bottle bill to pass the Massachusetts legislature. Although it is going to be a referendum question on the ballot this year, I suggest that you vote in favor of it. We talked about the poor quality of Groveland Community TV. I was very unhappy with the way that O'Connor Ives, our state senator here in Haverhill, voted against the minimum wage and did not support the bottle bill. I have suggested that campaign contributions made an impact on her votes there. I don't consider her to be a Democrat. I think that Ives should switch to the Republican Party. And I also mentioned Scott Brown, the carpetbagger who just was defeated by Senator Warren in the last election here in Massachusetts, decided that his summer house summer house in Rye, New Hampshire was going to be his permanent residence, so he's running for the U.S. Senate against Bob Smith, who I think is a better candidate on the Republican side, in an effort to run against Jeanne Shaheen, who I believe should be reelected in the state of New Hampshire. Scott Brown is a wishy-washy carpetbagger from Massachusetts who has an awful record in the U.S. Senate, although he's only there for 2 years and didn't really do anything of note and doesn't deserve to be reelected. I've also suggested that Mark LeMay should have been the president of the Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce. He probably didn't apply for the job, but the person who received the job I don't think is terribly qualified for it. And it's an organization that really hasn't done a very good job for Haverhill in many, many, many years. Also curious is what's going on at Pentucket Regional High School. The whole field hockey field is dug up, and the tennis courts have been wiped out. I'm curious as to what's been going on over there, and have suggested that going to Groveland Community TV, where the camera angles are awful and there is no audio, it's not the right place to go. I also noticed that the Whittier Bridge on Route 95 is being replaced. This seems to be Bridge Central here in the Greater Haverhill area. They redid the County Bridge a few years ago. They redid the Bates Bridge just last year, although I do believe that name of the new bridge should be changed from the William H. Bates Bridge to the Krajewski Bridge. I suggested that over a year ago. I went over the bridge today and it's still named the Bates Bridge. I mean, former Congressman William Bates has a submarine named after him. So does he need a submarine and a bridge? Beats me. So the idea of renaming the Groveland Bridge to the Bates Bridge to something other than what it is now is something which I suggested, but the Haverhill City Council hasn't acted on it, and nor has the people who allegedly run the town of Groveland. The Chamber of Commerce, I believe, in Haverhill needs to be maybe eliminated or come up with something different. I also talked about the time machine. You go back 20 years in Haverhill, and you've got the same people in power who were there 20 years ago. Nothing seems to change. What is the disincentive for people to run for public office here? I noticed that Ken Quimby runs a lot. He did get elected a few years ago and failed to be reelected last year. I do think that Ken Quimby should return to the Haverhill City Council, and I urge the voters of Haverhill to vote for him the next time that he runs. He's a decent individual. He's not an extremist on either side, and he's got a lot of common sense. But when we went to the break, I was talking about the U.S. Supreme Court, a decision that they rendered made unconstitutional buffer zones around abortion and family planning clinics. That's ridiculous. If a woman wants to go to get family planning advice, they have to run through all these right-wing religious kooks who are holding signs and yelling insults at them. So the U.S. Supreme Court made a very bad decision there. Also, the religious exemption to the Obamacare. If some company for religious purposes decides that they don't feel comfortable with family planning because it goes against their religious beliefs, they trump the U.S. Constitution and don't have to follow federal rules. That's ridiculous. So some right-wing, that's what it is. It's a group, I forget the name of the group. Oh, they own the Hobby Lobby. And the city of Haverhill should be appalled that the same people who wanted a religious exemption to universal health care are the same people who are behind the old Bradford College here in Bradford. Same people, Hobby Lobby. The Hobby Lobby, the people who run it decide, we don't like Obamacare because we think it's against our religious beliefs. And the U.S. Supreme Court says there's nothing wrong with that. What's to stop like the local yo-hos around here from saying we belong to the Church of the Merrimack River and we're opposed to family planning, so we should be exempt from federal law. You could take this to the extreme. So the U.S. Supreme Court made a very big mistake with that one. And finally, campaign donations. They struck down the limits from which corporations had for campaign contributions. So anybody can buy a U.S. senator. Anybody can buy a congressman. If you're a multimillionaire, just go out and buy yourself a congressman. It's okay with the U.S. Supreme Court. And that gets me going on the public lands issue in the West. A lot of the West is controlled by the federal government, by the Bureau of Land Management and the U.S. Forest Service and things such as that. There's ranchers out there who pay a fee to use public lands to graze their cattle. Well, one of them decided that he didn't have to pay for the last 20 years and owes the federal government over $20 million. So he decides that I'm still not going to pay the federal government to use their grazing lands. And there was an area in Nevada that was cordoned off to use by cattle because they have to have land management. I mean, cattle can eat up all the grass and destroy hundreds of acres of land. This guy decides, I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to pay for it. Then you get all these right-wing yo-hos who call themselves militiamen. I don't think the gang can shoot straight. They're out there, and they're telling the federal government that we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. If I were the president of the United States, I would send an old vintage bomber over there and load up the product from the cows and drop it on the protesters. That's what I would do, but I'm not the president. That's probably why. We've got a call on line 1. We had a call on line 1, but it disappeared. Give us a call back, 978-374-1900. That's the number to call if you'd like to be on the open mic. The U.S. Supreme Court is like a 3-ring circus. I don't think that's working.
Last one, Jack. Last one, all the way over. There you go.
Let's try that one. I pushed the wrong button. Hello?
Hi.
Hello. You're on the open mic.
Hi. Great to hear from you. I'm just wondering, I hear this term Hobby Lobby being bandied about, and I'm really not quite sure what that means.
Oh, Hobby Lobby is a chain of hobby shops. It's a retail establishment. And the people who own it, it's family owned, they're right-wing religious yahoos from the Midwest somewhere, and they decided that their employees shouldn't be eligible for the health care program because the health care program pays for family planning activities. They said it was against their religion. God knows what religion it is. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like Radio Shack. It's a big chain of stores, hobby shops.
Oh, I mean, I thought it was much larger somehow, but...
Well, they're a pretty big nationwide chain. Someplace which I won't step foot in.
Yeah, well, obviously I won't either, but that's really puzzling to me.
Well, the U.S. Supreme Court says they can violate federal law because, we don't feel comfortable with our religion. I don't know what religion they are.
Well, I think we're moving more and more towards a theocracy.
So do I. I mean, who's running the government, the church or the people?
Yeah. I have a lot of people in my family who are very religious, and I am particularly not. But I mean, they would be quite happy if you know.
What's going to happen? What happens if some joker religion is formed that they don't like black people? Oh, because of our fake religion, we don't want black people working in our stores. Is that going to be okay with the Supreme Court?
Well, I don't know.
Seems that way to me.
The Supreme Court doesn't seem to be acting on the side of women's rights.
No, it certainly doesn't. But keep in mind that most of those Supreme Court justices were put in by the Bush administration.
Yeah.
Or previous Republican administration. So blame the Republicans. That's what I do.
Well, I try not to do the partisan thing. I mean, but it's difficult not to do that right now.
What town are you calling from?
I'm calling from Haverhill.
Haverhill. So what do you think the Haverhill Chamber of Commerce does for the city of Haverhill?
Well, I'm a recent Haverhill transplant from Amesbury, actually.
Oh, Amesbury.
Yes, the elite Amesbury.
Well, Amesbury's a nice town.
It is a nice town.
I wonder if the open mic show is on Amesbury Community Television.
I'd be surprised if it is.
Well, how would you feel if you had the open mic show, this fabulous program that we have here, on Amesbury Community Television, and the city council decided they didn't like what the host had to say, and they decided to shut it off?
Well, there's a lot of the politics in Amesbury is very tight.
I think you were much better off when Bernie Flynn was there.
It's very. Oh, I'm sorry.
They keep giving me signals. Bernie Flynn. Remember Bernie Flynn?
Well, I'm 49, so I really.
Oh, well, you're 49. That's supposed to be like old or something.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Tom Yakabuchi. He was very good down there.
Well, yes, I have my issues. Yeah, they meant well.
Oh, that's right. And do you agree with me that Scott Brown doesn't have a chance of winning in New Hampshire?
No, I think he's probably going to make it.
You think he's going to beat Jean Shaheen?
I think he is.
Oh, I don't think so. I wish I had some money. I'd bet you.
Well,
I do have a trivia question tonight. I do have a trivia question tonight. You can win one free ticket to the John Greenleaf Whittier birthplace if you can tell me where the Hale's hot dog stand used to be.
Hale's hot dogs?
Do you remember? You can win a valuable free ticket.
Yeah. Well, I've been to the birthplace, so yeah.
Well, you can win a free ticket to the birthplace if you can tell me where Hale's hot dog stand was once located.
In Amesbury?
No. Oh, there used to be a ski area in Amesbury. You don't win anything for this.
I don't win crap. Okay, that's a cool.
You don't win crap if you answer this question properly. Where was a ski area in Amesbury?
Poe Hill is the Toe Hill that they put all those disgusting condos on top of.
Oh, that's correct, but you still don't win crap, so.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I'm all right with that.
Okay, anything else on your mind?
No.
Okay, thank you for the call.
Thank you very much.
Oh, time for a break. We'll be back right after this.
Open mic.
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
It's 7:02.
WHAV Merrimack Valley. WHAV is a not-for-profit service of Public Media of New England Incorporated. It's heard on 1640 AM, the web, at whav.net, and participating cable television stations.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. The White House says it wants to work with Germany to resolve the case of a German intelligence service employee accused of spying for the United States. The report has raised concerns about a further major deterioration in bilateral ties, as FSN's Washington correspondent Daniel Renches reports.
Last week, a 31-year-old employee of the German Federal Intelligence Service was arrested and accused of stealing over 200 documents. White House spokesman Josh Earnest wouldn't comment on the case, but accentuated the positive.
That partnership is built on respect, and it's built on decades of cooperation and shared values. All of those things are high priorities, not just to this administration, but to this country.
Leaked documents from former U.S. intelligence contractor Edward Snowden last year included the revelation that the US was collecting data on millions of German citizens and that the US had monitored the cell phone of German Chancellor Angela Merkel.
Hamas is vowing retribution after a series of Israeli airstrikes on Gaza. The militant Palestinian organization says 5 of its supporters were killed in the strikes, but the Israelis say the men died after handling explosives. The head of Britain's National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children is to lead a review into historic allegations of child abuse by British politicians and public officials. From FSN's London bureau, Dan Whitehead reports.
The British Home Secretary Theresa May has told MPs an investigation has been launched into allegations of organised child abuse at Westminster back in the 1980s. Updating the House of Commons, Theresa May said the prosecution of the people behind these disgusting crimes is a priority. The allegations centre around reports there was a cover-up at Westminster surrounding a dossier containing information on those involved in a paedophile ring.
Edward Shevardnadze, the former Soviet foreign minister who was one of the architects of change in the USSR, has died at the age of 86. He went on to become the first president of the newly independent nation of Georgia. From FSN's Europe desk in Brussels, Jack Parrock reports.
From a committed communist Soviet politician, Eduard Shevardnadze became the first head of state of the newly independent Republic of Georgia in 1992. Despite quelling a civil war in the country, he was overthrown from his position in the Rose Revolution of 2003 after allegations of corruptions and irregularities in parliamentary polls. Georgia is still in a precarious position politically, with many accusing the Russian Federation of causing unrest in the breakaway regions of Transnistria and South Ossetia.
As the World Cup continues in Brazil, soccer fans are mourning the loss of one of the game's greatest players of all time. Alfredo Di Stefano was a legend at Real Madrid in Spain. He was 88 and suffered a heart attack. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Here's what's happening in local news. An action-packed Haverhill City Council agenda for issues regarding the new Harbor Place development project on Merrimack Street. During Tuesday's regular session, the council is scheduled to hold a public hearing on the mayor's request to submit documents to the Commonwealth for a designated urban center housing zone and a tax increment financing plan. The council is also being asked to create additional parking spaces at the Haverhill Place parking lot and along the south side of Bailey Boulevard. The Harbor Place development would be built at the site of the vacant Woolworth building downtown. Also on the City Council agenda, Haverhill firefighter and resident Tyler Kimball is asking the council to reconsider a permit request for an outdoor event at the family-owned Kimball Farm on East Broadway. Plans for a so-called Dirty Girl race event to be held at the farm on July 19 were blocked by the council last month after complaints from area residents over traffic backups and parking issues during a previous public event. In a related matter, the Council's Administration and Finance Committee will report on a recent public hearing for proposed tighter regulations over large public events charging admission. The Haverhill City Council meets at 7 p.m. Tuesday in Council Chambers at Haverhill City Hall. Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick reportedly is mostly pleased with what he has seen so far in the fiscal 2015 state budget, though he does have until this Friday to review it. After a quick trip to Panama for a presidential inauguration, the governor suggested in an interview that budget reforms to the Department of Children and Families, which has fallen under heavy scrutiny since the disappearance and death of a young boy on its watch, don't go, quote, quite as far around DCF as I would have liked, end quote. Though a final budget was not in place on July 1st, legislative leaders came through with a deal a week ago to spend $36.5 billion over the next 12 months, delivering programs and services. House and Senate lawmakers ratified that budget last Monday, throwing the ball into Governor Patrick's court. In sports, WHAV's Nate Webster has this week's NASCAR race recap.
NASCAR CEO Brian France Saturday talked to the media about the state of the sport at the halfway point of the NASCAR season.
The format, and I think, we can all see the benefits of changing the winning importance. Drivers are telling us that. They're taking different kind of chances. They're going for wins when they would have played it safe otherwise. And I think that's just going to get more intense as we close in on Richmond. And we expect the racing to continue to get better. And we're very excited and interested to see how the chase is going to play out this year.
France also talked about NASCAR's initiative with Daytona International called Daytona Rising to improve the racetrack by the 2016 season, adding new seating, a social media section, and escalators.
Well, I've had a chance, of course, to see, a lot of the design work and the amenities that will ultimately come online. Our fans will really appreciate those benefits, the escalators, the social media zones, and all the rest. We kick off our season. It's the biggest event, so it needs to be, a spectacular place to come for our fans.
At the WHAV Sports Desk, I'm Nate Webster.
Remember, WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source, and it's always free. In the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, this is Dana Esmail.
Wave weather.
I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre with Wave Weather. Heading through the nighttime hours, it's going to be partly cloudy, but really just about any time there could be a shower or thunderstorm moving on through. It's going to be muggy with a low of 69, maybe some fog late tonight too. Now, Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, hazy, humid, upper 80s to near 90, maybe a late day thunderstorm. Tuesday night, a chance of a thunderstorm, partly cloudy otherwise, and 70. And then Wednesday, partly sunny, scattered thunderstorms and temperatures in the mid-80s. I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre. Your next Wave weather in 30 minutes.
Listen to The Wave with fewer interruptions, no pop-ups, and a choice of players by tuning directly from www.whav.net.
WHAV, Merrimack.
From the Edwin B. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents The Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome back to the Open Mic. I'm Jack Bevelaqua, guest hosting tonight. We've got one email from somebody saying, Jack is great, comes out fighting, should fill in more. Keep those emails coming. Okay, now we've covered many. Do we have a guest coming on? We do happen to have a guest tonight, Kristen Lestock from the Communications Director at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Is she here? I can't hear her. I got to press another button. My God. I used to have people who press buttons for me. Hello, Kristen.
Hello, how are you doing this evening?
Very good. How are things up there at New Hampshire Motor Speedway?
Oh, things are great. We are getting busy. It's the beginning of race week here in New Hampshire, and we're getting excited. We've had some of our campers started arriving a few days ago, so we're starting to get busy on property, and it's real exciting for us. So
what is New Hampshire Race Week, anyway?
Well, it kicked off this past weekend with some of the campers moving in, but basically we here at New
You
Hampshire
race
Motor
campers?
Speedway-
You have campers racing on the racetrack?
No. We just have campers moving in, and they started arriving earlier in the race.
I always thought it'd be a
We
great
raced
idea.
School buses a couple weeks ago, though.
You race school buses?
We did.
Oh, I had an idea for the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, but no one would listen to me down there. I live down that way. I suggested getting like 1960s models, Chrysler Imperials, old Cadillacs, and cars like these big tanks, and race those around the racetrack.
Sounds like fun.
I think it would be a blast, don't you?
Absolutely. I'd love to see that. We should do it.
I think you should. Don't forget where you got the idea from.
I won't.
Oh, okay. So I do have a list of questions, real questions to ask you. What happens if you get inclement weather? If a race is scheduled for Saturday?
We do prepare for that. We start looking at the weather forecast as early in advance as we can. We do work with NASCAR directly on that, and we work with the National Weather Service and the weather folks out in Gray, Maine to help figure out the weather plan for the race weekend. Of course, our goal is to always get the race in, get it in fully for our fans that come out. But if there is inclement weather, we do have some different safety measures put into place to make sure that if we need to get the fans out of the grandstands, we will. But ultimately, we hope to have a clear weekend and not have to worry about rain at all.
That sounds good to me. Now, what are the races this coming weekend?
Yes, we will have some stuff on track starting on Thursday, and we actually have multiple series on the racetrack. And it'll kick off with the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East Thursday. They have a qualifying session. Friday, we will have the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series will have their qualifying for the Oxford Casino Pole Days. And then the Modified Series will hit the track and race. We've got 2 races for them this weekend. We've got one that's a brand new all-star event that'll get the North and South drivers battled against each other. And then they'll also have the regular Modified 100 on Saturday. We'll also have the Nationwide Series. NASCAR second-tier series will race on Saturday. And then, of course, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series has got their big day on Sunday, July 13th.
What's the capacity of the racetrack up there for people?
Over 100,000 fans come into our facility.
Let me believe that I had a Winnebago. I don't. If I can, other.
The entire week.
Hidden. I would assume there's facilities there to take care of folks.
Absolutely. We've got multiple campgrounds. We've got bath and shower facilities. We've got trams to get the fans around, shower buses. We've got everything that a camper would need to make their residence at the race track for the week. We've got
Hey,
it.
what's a shower bus?
It's basically a bus that'll bring you over to the shower house. You don't have to worry about walking or driving. We've got shower buses dedicated just to bring the campers over to our bath and shower facility.
Oh, great. I thought maybe the shower was in the bus.
No, but that would be kind of cool, huh?
Yeah, I get. As long as it wasn't one of the buses that was in the race.
Yeah, and as long as they don't take any sharp turns, it could become
that'd be interesting. So what types of events do you hold other than the Sprint Cup and the Nationwide Racing Series?
As I mentioned, the K&N Pro Series East and the Wheel and Modified Tour, those are two of NASCAR's regional series. A lot of the drivers from both of those series are from throughout New England, so they'll also race this weekend. And then when NASCAR comes back in September, which we're already thinking about when they come back for the chase, we'll also have the Camping World Truck Series and the American Canadian Tour late models, along with Sprint Cup Series and the Modified. So we try and pack as many racing events into a race weekend as possible, which is really great for the fans because on any given day, it's really more bang for your buck. You can come to the facility on, say, for instance, a Saturday and get a couple races, practice sessions, and qualifyings in for one low ticket price. So it's really great for our fans.
Okay. I know you mentioned NASCAR comes in. Is that Danica Patrick and that gang?
It is. Danica Patrick will be here on Sunday, as well as I'm sure you've heard of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh, yes. I won a Dale Earnhardt Jr. calendar here on the open mic. I didn't get it until July, so I think I should get one for next year, too.
There you go. Yes, he is our most popular driver and the Daytona 500 winner. He will be here on Sunday. Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, all the names of the big National Series drivers will be here this weekend in our lovely state of New Hampshire.
This weekend?
This weekend, July 13th is the big day, but racing actually starts on Thursday, July 10th.
So, Kristen, I'm sitting down here in Groveland. In Haverhill, what if I decide I want to go to the race at the last minute? Do you have to buy tickets in advance, or can you...
up on race day? There are still some tickets available, but what we like to suggest is if there's a specific spot that you want to sit in, you want to pick out your perfect seat, we suggest that you call in and get those tickets as soon as possible so you can get to be able to sit where you want. But there are still tickets available.
Okay, Kristen, say I'm sitting here and I want to call.
783-4931 is our ticket hotline. It is open extended hours until 8 p.m. every single night. And you can also buy tickets 24/7 on nhms.com. Our website is also got everything available.
For that information, will you guys be having the Toyota Wheel and Deal again?
We won't. That was a great event that we did last year. We gave away 10 Toyota Camrys as part of that Wheel and Deal. It was basically the
I should have gone last
game
year.
Shows that we have live, and that was last July that we did that. We won't be doing that this year, but we do have some other fun stuff.
Such as?
We will have a flyover, traditional flyover, as everybody loves to have. We have the national anthem, which will be sung by as marking the 200th anniversary of the national anthem. The actual song is at the 200th anniversary this year. She will be hitting every state in the country to celebrate this, and we will be state number 41, so that will be great. We also have the world's fastest drummer will perform at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Justin Spencer, who's with Recycled Percussion, will take to the stage for our pre-race concert. Justin is actually from Goffstown, New Hampshire, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Recycled Percussion, but they were found on America's Got Talent a few years ago,
No
and
kidding.
they headlined a show down in Las Vegas. We will also have some skydivers coming down, descending on New Hampshire Motor Speedway for a really fun pre-race show. We'll have an air show as well, and a whole bunch of fun stuff going on for the fans on Sunday, July 13th.
Okay, Kristen, I'm looking at a schematic of the raceway that we have up on our television screen, and I see the main grandstand, the Laconia grandstand, and the Concord grandstand. I'm assuming there's different prices for all those different grandstands.
There is, and the way the pricing structure usually works is basically from the row that you want. So prices start at just $25. They range all the way up into $110 based on which row that you want to sit in and where you do want to sit. But we've got very affordable tickets, and they're all different price ranges for whatever will fit your budget.
Is there an incentive for buying the tickets early?
Yes, there is. As I mentioned, there is a discount on the Friday and Saturdays for buying your tickets in advance. But one of the things that we're actually offering for 2015, because we are already looking towards next year, if you renew your tickets on this weekend, in a couple days, for next year's race, we've got some great free gifts available. We've got a free tool set that you can get if you renew your tickets, if you renew your camping. We've got a really great grill set for fans. So some really cool free gifts if you renew your race tickets for 2015 this coming weekend.
There's many people in the state of New Hampshire on vacation, so I would assume you get a lot of people from out of state coming to the races.
We absolutely do. Most of our ticket sales actually come from people all throughout New England. We've got fans that even come from Canada. It's a short distance away. We've got them that come from some other different countries as well. So
really?
Most of the fans, though, are within New England, within a driving distance, and a good amount of them from Massachusetts.
Do you have any? Have you had any celebrities visit the raceway?
We have in the past. We've had different.
I haven't been there, so.
Say that again?
I haven't been there, so I guess that celebrity is out.
Well, we're waiting for you to come up, but we will have a big celebrity coming up this July on Sunday. We will have Julian Edelman, who is a wide receiver for the Patriots, will be coming, and he will be our honorary pace car driver. So
no kidding, that's
one
pretty
of our
good.
Celebrities for this coming weekend.
That sounds pretty good. I heard fans can drive their own cars around the track for a few laps. What's that all about?
Absolutely. We have a bunch of different opportunities that fans can do that, but the most recent we have is this coming Wednesday, July 9th, from 5 to 7 p.m. You can drive your own car around the racetrack where your favorite drivers will race on Sunday. But the best part about this is the money is actually benefits children in need. So for 3 laps, you can drive your car around the track for a $30 donation to Speedway Children's Charities, and Speedway Children's Charities donates money to children in need, children's-related charities within about most of New England, actually. We're trying to raise $1 million this year and pretty much donated about $200,000 last year to local children's charities. So
Terrific. I can bring my mother's 1989 Oldsmobile up there and run it around the track a few times.
There you go. We can do it.
I think this might be the beginning of the fabulous race with the Chrysler Imperials.
I love it.
Imagine that. I've got the
Are you
old.
going to be our Grand Marshal, or are you just going to lead the pack?
I would have to be the Grand Marshal.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. We'll get 2 things knocked off on that bucket list. We'll have a celebrity with you showing up, and we'll have that great race that you threw out there.
Wouldn't that be a riot? Picture it in your mind. Have you seen like a 1968 Chrysler Imperial? If you haven't, look it up online. And the old 1964 Cadillacs, the old Plymouth wagons. How about, I can't imagine. I think you'll probably get 100,000 people just for that. So I think it's fascinating that if somebody wants to bring a camper up there, where are the campgrounds?
They are throughout our property. We actually own more than 1,100 acres is our property. The Speedway is basically in the center of it, and the campgrounds are all surrounding. But as I mentioned, we have Disney-style trams, which bring our campers throughout the facility, so you don't have to walk from your camper to the racetrack. There's trams that pick you up and drop you off where you want to go, and it's a really cool experience. Some people just like to drive around on the trams all day, just to drive around on them.
Really? I'm assuming that the trams go to the parking lot as well.
They do, absolutely.
They do. So if you park a half a mile away, chances are there's a tram to pick you up, maybe.
Absolutely. We've got 3 different tram routes that pick up and drop off in multiple locations just to make it convenient for the fans so you don't have to walk far.
That sounds sure. I'm sure there's fabulous food concessions there as well.
There are, and we've got some new concession stand items. One of the new ones for this race is lobster poutine. I know we've got a lot of Canadian fans that come down. So it's a traditional French fries, but instead of there being, the regular cheese sauce on it, this is actually like a lobster bisque that is on top of the French fries. It's
heck,
cool.
if you don't like raising, you just go up there and eat.
Things as well.
You should go up there, ride the trams around, and eat.
There you go.
Then you can go watch the race.
It's a full day.
Okay, so Kristen, what time does all the fun begin? Let's say on Sunday.
On Sunday, the race is actually at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. However, there's so many different things going on property that we encourage you to get there early, probably by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and you can go walk around, check out the display area, do some shopping at the souvenir haulers, grab some food, check out all the pre-race activities, and really just make a day out of it.
Okay, what is Souvenir Row?
Souvenir Row is an area where all of the drivers have souvenir haulers, so you can go and buy your favorite Danica Patrick T-shirt if
Great.
you are interested.
Oh, definitely interested. I got to come up there. I'm going to come up there, get a Danica Patrick T-shirt, eat lobster, and ride around on the tram.
Sounds like a great Sunday to me.
And you mentioned that these haulers come in. And do all the major stars have their own gear there?
They do, and it's really kind of cool. It's set up all basically in a row right behind the grandstand, so you can just walk through. And, some people just like to go shopping on the morning of the race and check out the different gear, check out if there's any new die-cast cars that they can get or collectibles that they can pick up.
Oh, really? That's a great idea. You get all the collectible people up. It sounds like a really fun event, much more
really
than just a race.
It really is. So much to do, something for everyone, whether you're a shopper, whether you want to check out the pre-race festivities, or even just the racing on track.
Great. Now, we talked about NASCAR, but you also mentioned sprint cars and modifieds as well. When do those run? Kristen, you still there? I guess she's gone. Okay, that's it from Kristen at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. If you've got nothing to do this weekend, I suggest you take a ride up there and check out all the fun. You can ride on the tram, see some great NASCAR racing and other racing, hear some good music, and have some great food. Sounds like a great time to me. And if you have a camper, you're all set. I didn't ask her how much it costs to camp there. I bet it's a pretty good deal. Take your camper up there and see all the racing stars. Then I think you'll be all set. Okay, we're all done with the motor racing. I think we don't have a call coming in. Let's go back to our fabulous trivia prize tonight. One free admission to the John Greenleaf Whittier birthplace. If you can tell me where Hale's hot dog stand used to be located. And we're about to draw the winning name in the cake contest. Is that right? What we do every month here on the open mic is you can win a cake from, I got some bug spray in my eye. I put some off on. You shouldn't put bug spray on your hands.
Happy birthday to you, my darling. Happy anniversary.
Does it have to be somebody's anniversary or birthday? Okay, if you can win the cake, if it's somebody's birthday in the month of July.
No, okay, we have June and July in the hat.
Okay.
And you can accept August birthdays.
Okay, so what's the cake for in the next contest?
What's that?
Okay, so we're drawing June and July tonight. Right. Can you still enter to win in this hat?
Now you can enter for August.
Okay, if you have a birthday or an anniversary or a special event in August, then give us a call at 978-374-1900 and wish a happy birthday or happy anniversary to whomever it may be. And then you can get back with the producer. We'll get your name and your phone number, and we'll put it in the cowboy hat. And if you win a fabulous cake from Abby D's Italian Bakery here in Bradford, Massachusetts. Oh, Albie D's Italian Bakery, 978-241-9543. They are located at 140 South Main Street in Bradford. They have fabulous cakes there. It would have been nice if they dropped one off over here when I was on the show. But if somebody has an anniversary or some special event coming up in August, give us a call at 978-374-1900, and you could be a winner here on the open mic, the home of all the prizes. We should have got a prize from the racetrack, but we didn't. Let's go back to my list.
Why don't you draw so we can start refilling?
Okay, here we go. We're going to draw the winner of the cake.
For June and July.
For June and July. I think I entered. I think I lied and said my birthday was in June. The winner is, wait a minute, Gwen McFadden. Does Gwen have to call?
No, she already called.
She did.
We're doing these a month in advance.
Okay, Gwen McFadden is the winner of the, she's from Haverhill. She is a winner. We have to get our bomber lined up from Haverhill, Mass. So, Gwen, congratulations. You won a 7-inch cake from Albie D's Italian Bakery here in Haverhill. There's the winning ticket. I got to go find my name in here. Wait a minute. Where am I? Is there a second prize? I didn't win second prize either. So I didn't win the cake as usual. I was hoping to win something from Bradford Antiques, but they don't seem to call in when I'm on the show. Or maybe I can win a free bean dinner over at the Second Baptist Church. I always enter these contests and I never win. Okay, now time for the weather. We're going to be back in just a moment.
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
It's 7:31.
WHAV is on Facebook. For quick access, visit WHAV.net and click on the Facebook icon.
Catch the wave! Hi, I'm meteorologist Gary Best. Do you need to know if it's going to be hot or cold, wet or dry? Well, find out every half hour, 7 days a week with WAVE Weather. I'll keep you in touch with up-to-the-minute reports covering the greater Merrimack Valley and beyond. It's WHAV for accurate weather when you want it.
Wave Weather!
I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre with Wave Weather. Heading through the nighttime hours, it's going to be partly cloudy, but really just about any time there could be a shower or thunderstorm moving on through. It's going to be muggy with a low of 69, maybe some fog late tonight too. Now, Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, hazy, humid, upper 80s to near 90, maybe a late day thunderstorm. Tuesday night, a chance of a thunderstorm, partly cloudy otherwise, and 70. And then Wednesday, partly sunny, scattered thunderstorms and temperatures in the mid-80s. I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin B. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Secret studio here in New England. We've covered a lot of area so far tonight, but so far we haven't seemed to have anybody concerned about the fact that Harbor Place may be sinking into the river, and the fact that the Massachusetts Senate decided not to support an expansion of the bottle bill, something that I wholeheartedly support. No one seems to share my opinion of Groveland Community TV, probably because nobody ever watches it. I do think that Senator Ives should switch parties and become a Republican. Scott Brown, in my opinion, doesn't have a chance of winning election in the state of New Hampshire. We have a call? No kidding. Hello, you're on the Open Mic.
Hello there, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
It's birthday time.
Oh, okay, so who do you want to wish happy birthday to?
Happy birthday to Jackie.
To Jackie. Now, how old is Jackie going to be?
Today, 34.
34. Well, today, I thought you had to have a birthday in August.
Well.
Oh, you know what? We're giving you a special exemption just because I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to add you. We're going to dump out all of these old. They're gone now. All these old losers to the Open Mic Show. They're right here on the. And we're going to add your name, Jackie's name, to the official Chinese cowboy hat, and there'll be a drawing in a month to see if you win a cake.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else on your mind?
No, not really.
No. You don't want to comment on any of the fabulous issues that I brought up tonight?
I missed most of them anyway.
Okay. Harbor Place. Are you from Haverhill?
Yes, I am.
Well, because Harbor Place was all over the local news to replace the Woolworth building in downtown Haverhill.
Right.
And I exaggerate everything that I say, and I claim that Harbor Place is going to end up downstream in the Delta somewhere. It was advertised as this huge 7-story extravaganza.
Mm-hmm.
Well, currently it's down to 3 stories.
Yeah.
And every month goes by, it seems to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And
well, it doesn't matter what you put down there. It's going to be an improvement, and that's why I think everybody's going nuts over it. You know,
I know, but don't advertise a 7-story skyscraper when it's going to end up being like a ranch house or something.
Well, that would really be something if we had some real skyscrapers here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, people would like that or not, but you know, I miss the old downtown the way it used to be when I was
so do I.
in the 60s.
As do I. And it's interesting that so many people are so happy to blame the sales tax in Massachusetts for the demise of downtown Haverhill.
Well, that's what I thought it was when I was a kid.
Well, everybody claims that, but all you got to do is go to Kittery, Maine. Maine has a sales tax on everything, clothing as well, and New Hampshire doesn't. But all the outlet stores are on Route 1 in Kittery. Have you been there?
Well, not to the outlet stores.
There's got to be several hundred retail stores there. And the sales tax in Maine didn't stop the Kittery Trading Post and all of these successful stores lined up Route 1 for several miles from locating there and being successful.
Well, Kittery's used a lot of different marketing techniques too, though.
I understand that, but everybody around here, well, of course, we've got the fabulous marketing capability of the Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce, which decides to have its dinner in Windham, New Hampshire.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yes, they had their dinner in Windham, New Hampshire, which is not Windham is not a member of the Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce, and the guest speaker had to be Scott Brown. So I call it the Republican Chamber of Commerce. And I don't think the Haverhill Chamber of Commerce has done anything good for anybody for many, many years. And I don't think things are going to change. That was one of my comments earlier. But let's blame the sales tax. It's always so convenient to blame the sales tax. But Southern Maine is thriving with retail, and their income tax is higher. Their sales tax is higher than the Massachusetts sales tax, and it includes clothing. So you tell me.
Well, people go to the trading post in Kittery just for the merchandise that they can't get anywhere else.
I know. I was up there. I was kind of amazed. I was up there with a friend of mine. He was buying ammunition. I'm the wrong guy to have in a gun shop. I'm anti-gun, So some woman comes up to my friend. She goes, "Oh, I'm so disappointed they're running out of ammo." I looked at her. I said, "Good." She goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Too many people have guns." I probably shouldn't have said that in a gun shop. You think?
Yeah, they might be laying for you out in the parking lot.
Yeah, I know. And there are all these signs. Don't pull the triggers. Don't pull the trigger. What the hell are you going to do? Like take the gun, load it up, and start pulling the trigger? Don't pull the trigger.
Nowadays.
Well, I guess they let just about anybody have a gun. These gun people are kind of out of their minds. Oh, I need my gun. The government's going to take over. Like what government? Is Mexico going to attack? Is Quebec going to attack us? I'm just kind of wondering. I look at these people and I kind of go, what? So, anyway.
Well, I used to be a gun owner, so, you know.
So did I.
Yeah.
I never got the damn woodchuck I was trying to shoot. I had this garden at my mother's house in Groveland, a town that we're blacked out from. This show is banned in Groveland. Did you know that?
Keep him on. We have his School Street before and after photos.
Oh. So, anyway, School Street before and after photos coming up, I guess. So,
that's my house.
Oh, really?
It's the house I grew up in.
Is it the before or after photo? Please hold. We're waiting for our crack technical staff. All you got is a picture of me on there. There's a delay. I guess we're going to have to wait to see.
You know, the audio kept on just cutting out, too.
The audio
on Channel 22. Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's not NBC, but they're much better than Groveland Community TV.
You know, well,
this show is banned in Groveland.
I don't have access to Groveland Community TV either. Remember, they used to share it with Georgetown years ago.
Yeah, there was nothing on then. There's nothing on now.
Yeah.
But you do get to watch these meetings. They don't have any audio, and the cameraman must be non-existent. So that was one of my. That was.
Oh, what do they do? Put a webcam in there and just leave it?
I don't know. I honest to God don't know. I really don't know. It was so frustrating. If you're a Groveland resident and you want to get the news, the only local news source is WHAV's Open Mic Show.
Yep.
But that show has been blackballed. There's a picture up on the TV screen. Didn't you mow the lawn?
No.
Okay. The house looks to be in pretty good shape to me.
That house was solid.
It looks very solid to me now. Where's the after photo? And I'm intrigued by this. I know where School Street is. That house appears to be in pretty good shape. Where's
Not anymore.
What they do, like turn it into like the Taj Mahal or something?
No, they knocked it down.
Why did they knock it down?
Well, it's been sold, and so the developer has plans.
Oh my God! Whenever you say developer and plans, I get worried.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an improvement.
What was the matter with that house? Never mind. Okay, so
well, no, in its day, it was a great house, but it's It's over 160 years old.
It looks like it needed a weed whacker and a lawnmower.
How about a bulldozer?
Well, I'm still looking for the after picture.
I just sent that to Tim recently.
So anyway, I went to the gun shop, the gun place at Whittier, at the trading post, and that was probably not a very good idea. Then I went to the gun store up in Plastown, New Hampshire.
Uh-huh. Oh, what's that one? Gun, lock, stock, and barrel?
I don't know what it's called. I forget. But I went in there, and there were these parents who had, oh my God, there's the after picture. Somebody knocked your old house down.
That's it. That's my house.
I hope you weren't in it when that occurred.
No, but I was thinking of making that picture in the Christmas cards. What do you think?
Yeah, I know.
From my house to yours.
Room for rent, cheap. So I went to this gun shop, and there was a mother and father there, and they got like a 4-year-old kid holding a rifle. I thought there was something wrong with that. And then they've got pink guns. Well, the guns, these are real firearms that shoot real bullets, and they're pink.
Is that right?
Is that supposed to attract the 6-year-old girls or something?
I don't know.
I think guns are nuts. So, but anyway, everybody else out there in open mic land seems to think it's a good idea.
Well, I couldn't say.
I think that. I also mentioned Plum Island. Are you familiar with Plum Island?
Well, I've been there.
And every time there's a storm, all the wealthy property owners with oceanfront property go crying to the state looking for money to save their house. But then once the house is saved, they could put up no trespassing and no parking signs on the entire island. They want your money, but they don't want you.
And nouveau riche, you know.
I don't think they should spend 2 cents of government money on Plum Island because they don't want you there. And I'm also upset at the Fish and Wildlife Service for closing most of the National Wildlife Refuge down there for the piping plovers. I understand it's a bird sanctuary. I understand that piping plovers nest on the beach, and having people walking over their nests and stepping on their eggs isn't a good idea. But you go over to Cranes Beach on the other side of the Parker River, they're open all the time. They don't close their beach.
They don't.
What they do is they put snow fence around the nests so people won't disturb the birds, which I think is a much better idea
I do too.
than in closing 8 miles of beautiful beach.
Sure.
I guess you and I are the only ones who care about that. I think that I also mentioned I think that Jim Fiorentini is doing a pretty good job. What do you think of the mayor?
Well, I reserve comment on all that stuff.
You do? Okay. I guess you don't think he's too good then.
Well, I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying anything.
Okay. I was also talking about the use of public lands in the West, because I live out in the western United States, and the Bureau of Land Management and the U.S. Forest Service own a great deal of land in western states, and they rent land to cattle folks to graze their cattle at certain times of the year. The ranchers have to pay the Bureau of Land Management to use public lands to graze their cattle. And grazing the cattle, and the ranchers then sell the cattle and make a profit. There's one guy out there who hasn't paid his range fees for many years, owes the federal government millions of dollars, and decided that he was going to put his cattle on land that wasn't ready to be grazed yet. And the Bureau of Land Management came in and tried to remove the cattle. Then every right-wing yahoo in the western part of the country decides they're a militiaman, gets their guns and sets up camp, and decides that these lands should be controlled by the right-wing militia in the United States. And so I'm out there going, you guys are crazy. But it's probably a good thing I'm not on the radio in the western part of the country. They all have guns.
Yeah, they go after you with their pink guns, right?
Yeah, they go after me with their pink guns. I bet they do have pink guns. That's what I'm going to go out there someday and ask them if they have pink guns. What do you think I should do think I should do that?
No, I don't think so, because they'd shoot you.
I know. So, but the other thing that I've learned by being out west is that water is a very, very valuable commodity. If you go to Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Nevada, water is a very hot commodity, something that is really precious and something that has value. But you come to Massachusetts and you come to the Merrimack Valley, it's okay for people to put septic systems right next to drinking water supplies. That's what's going on in Groveland. That's one of the reasons I think they have like these little towers with aluminum on them. And whenever I go on the open mic, the aluminum towers go up to block the signal from coming into Groveland. See, Groveland can't handle the truth, and they don't want anybody to hear the truth. And I was over by Chadwick's Pond the other day, which is in Haverhill, and lo and behold, there's all these houses on one of the banks of Chadwick's Pond, which is also a drinking water supply for the city of Haverhill. That would never happen out west. People understand that water is more valuable than gold. Right. They don't seem to understand that here in the Merrimack Valley. If you go to Georgetown, all the rain we just had, they have voluntary water restrictions, and Topsfield has mandatory water restrictions. So even in the water wealthy east here, people have to conserve water, and there are restrictions on its use. You go out, but they don't really care if in Haverhill and Groveland if you put septic systems in houses on the drinking water supply, which actually pollutes the water.
Yeah.
And we have to go to a break. Nice to hear from you. I hope that you win the cake.
Okay, thank you, Jack.
Thank you for calling.
Take care.
Time for a break. We'll be right back.
Open mic.
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
When local news breaks, the wave is there. Soft Gold, WHAV.
Merrimack Valley Happenings is your weekly guide to economic news and cultural events. It's a quick read about local business, the economy, and higher education. It also features an all-in-one calendar of business, cultural, and recreational events. View Merrimack Valley Happenings online or sign up for a weekly email at merrimackvalley.info.
Catch the wave.
Here, don't forget your free ticket to the biggest theater in the world. Your seat is reserved for Modern Theater of the Mind every Tuesday night. WHAV presents Radio Theater Project, a new anthology series of comedies, dramas, mysteries, and science fiction. Tune in every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. or the encore performance at 1 a.m. Remember, only local radio can bring you this feature opportunity, but only WHAV does.
This is Take Two Movie Review. I'm Mike Friend. This week, Groundhog Day meets Independence Day. Tom Cruise is back for a clangorous new summer sci-fi shoot-'em-up entitled Edge of Tomorrow. Based on a Japanese novella subtly titled All You Need Is Kill by Hiroshi Sakazuraka, the action is set in near-future Europe, which has been overrun by betentacled aliens called mimics. Cruise's character, William Cage, recently and unwillingly demoted from major to private, is dropped onto the beach in France in a D-Day-style invasion, where the force is decimated and he is killed by a rare higher-order mimic called an Alpha. In the fight, the Alpha's blood is spilled on Cage, which results in him reawakening back on base in England pre-invasion. It seems that the alien success is tied to their ability to reset time, and that the blood transference has given Cage the same power. He soon finds Rita Vratoski, played by Emily Blunt, who had possessed the power earlier and become a war hero. Working with Rita, and through hundreds of loops, and with the help of a transponder they have to lift from headquarters, they find their way to the hive mind of the aliens. Cruise, and especially Blunt, are at the top of their games here. It's almost as if Cruise reverse engineers roles like this for himself. Blunt is hard-assed, smart, and believable in the few quiet moments, and it's kudos for Cruise, Blunt, and director Doug Liman for not letting the Cage-Rita relationship get cliched. The cinematography and 3D are about what you'd expect for a $200 million film in 2014. That is to say, pretty good. There have been grislier and less one-dimensional aliens, and you might find yourself asking how many time-dimension bending films you've seen lately, but Edge of Tomorrow works in more ways than it doesn't. This has been Take Two Movie Review. I'm Mike Friend. Catch up with us at Take2MovieReview.com and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Take2_Review.
It's music. Catch the wave. WHAV. Open mic.
From the Edwin B. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome back to the Open Mic. I'm Jack Bevelaqua here until 8:30 tonight on the Open Mic program, an institution here in the Merrimack Valley. You can listen to the Open Mic on community television in Haverhill on Channel 22, in Andover on Channel 8, Methuen, Channels 8 and 22, Comcast, and Verizon Fios 32, Plastow, Channel 17 and 23, and Sandown, New Hampshire. I don't think I've ever gotten a call from Sandown, New Hampshire. Lovely community on Channel 17. We are banned in Groveland. We're on the internet at WHAV.tv. So,
hey, Jack, can I remind you that this hour of the Open Mic Show is being brought to you by the Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council.
Great organization.
Smart companies choose the Merrimack Valley.
I think that the Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council does a fabulous job here in the city of Haverhill and should supplant the Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce. Their executive director, David Tibbetts, is an asset to the area and should be commended. But you know what? I don't want to get too positive here. The last half hour of the program is going to be just positive issues. I have a couple more other issues that I'd like to bring up. Let's talk about cable television here. How come the comedy channel known as Fox News is available on the Comcast system here, but I can't find MSNBC? Is that true? Am I missing something? Is MSNBC on Comcast? What channel is it, like 842 or something? I'm at my mother's house over there in Groveland watching, because I watched the Weather Channel like 24/7 when Hurricane Arthur was going on. At first they said it was going to go out to sea, and every hour it seemed to get closer and closer and closer. So Hurricane Arthur, it was good for the Weather Channel, and thank God nobody was killed and there was no major damages. Oh, that's too positive. I do think that Fox News has replaced Comedy Central. If you want a good laugh, put on Fox News. It is the funniest thing to watch. I remember back in the day I used to watch the PTL Club on TV just to laugh. That was Reverend Jim and Tammy Faye. People say, Jack, why did you watch that? Because I used to laugh the entire time. Now I put on Fox News, and I just laugh. These guys are such right-wing morons, and I don't think they're trying to be funny, but it is absolutely hilarious. So, and then finally there was Kids Fest here in the city of Haverhill. Kids Fest used to be in downtown Haverhill, and it was a great thing for inner-city families and inner-city kids to do. They could take the bus, or many of them could walk downtown and have a great time at Kids Fest. Then somebody decided to move Kids Fest out to Kimball Farm, which is a very, very nice place here in Haverhill, but it is hardly the place for Kids Fest. I mean, inner city kids who seem to be a little bit, don't have the same opportunities, can't get out to Kimball Farm for an event. So let's put the big Kids Fest event in the most remote part of the city. I don't know whose idea that was, but it was a poor one. So we've talked about Harbor Place, the Bottle Bill, the god-awful Groveland Community TV. Senator Ives ought to be a Republican instead of a Democrat. Scott Brown has no business running for state Senate, for U.S. Senate in the state of New Hampshire. Plum Island, we're wasting a lot of money down there. One thing I do want to ask you, it is July, it's vacation time, so where do people go on vacation around here? Back in the day, they used to go to Salisbury Beach in Hampton and maybe Lake Winnipesaukee. But do people still go to Lake Winnipesaukee? I don't know. Do they? In fact, I heard on the Weather Channel the other day, because they monitor the Weather Channel 24/7. It's coming in May. Coming in May. Wait a minute. Coming in May. They already had it. So anyway, I heard on the Weather Channel that they had a water spout on Lake Winnipesaukee. That's like a tornado over water. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It would have made for fun water skiing. Oh, my God. You're out in a boat and a water spout's coming at you. What are you supposed to do? You could go out to Rattlesnake Island and try to hide out there, but there's probably no trespassing signs everywhere. Mitt Romney has a place up there. Maybe you could have pulled your boat into his place. Though that Mitt Romney did save a couple of kids out in Lake Winnipesaukee just a couple of years ago. Hello, you're on the open mic. The call is gone. What? We have 2 cameras. How come I'm not on TV? We have 2 cameras, and I'm not even on TV. Oh, now what's the second camera do? I mean, I got dressed up to go on the show. When I first started doing the open mic program, it was just radio. So I could wear, well, I don't really get dressed up for this, but it didn't really make any difference. Oh, Tim, I thought you were going to get rid of these old entries. I got to put my cowboy hat on. I have to look through these and see if my name is actually in here anywhere. I don't see my name. I've looked like 4 different times. I don't see my name in that hat anywhere. I'm going to call foul.
You from there.
Oh, my God. Whose reflection is that? It's kind of spooky. There's a ghost in here. If you look at that. If you're watching TV, there's a ghost in the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom. Who is it?
And then we have a picture of you talking to yourself. Watch.
What?
Yeah, it would be a picture of you talking to yourself.
Tim, I do the open mic program. I talk to myself most of the time.
Yeah, now you can do it on air.
Well, that's what I do here. I don't think anybody actually listens to this show. Maybe they do. I have all of these fabulous subjects here, but nobody seems to care about the Harbor Place, the Bottle Bill, Groveland Community TV, the fact that Senator Ives ought to be a Republican. Oh, my God. Plum Island. But seriously, we're almost into the positive half hour, so going on vacation can be positive or negative. So we'll segue into the positive half hour by asking you, where do you go on vacation? Lake Winnipesaukee, that's kind of a nice place to go. Maine. I went to fabulous Peaks Island last week. Great place, Peaks Island, Maine. And how about Rangeley Lake? That's up in the middle of nowhere. Do people still go there? I know that people go there to go skiing at Saddleback Ski Area and to go snowmobiling, but do people actually go up there camping? I was camping somewhere out west last year, and I came back to the campsite. There's all these people like hanging around my campsite. I said, hey, what are you guys doing, guarding my campsite? They said, oh, no, we're watching the bear. There's a bear, like, right in the middle of my campsite. And they're all, like, looking at it. There's signs everywhere. Danger, stay away from bears. And there's one in the camp. There's people, like, sitting there taking pictures and all this stuff. So, Rangeley Lake, we're looking for evidence that my name, that's not me. That's not my name, so I'm not in it. Oh, I was in there. I tried to look at it as I pulled the thing. I had one entry in the cake contest. In case you're wondering about the cake contest, once a month here on the open mic program, you can win a cake. Oh wait a minute, hold on. There I am again. I had 2 entries in the cake contest, and I still didn't win. So, wait a minute. You can win a cake from Darby D's Italian Bakery here in Bradford, Massachusetts. Oh, no. I'm in there again. I had 3 entries so far in the cake contest. Oh, no. 4. I'm going to put these back in and change the dates and put them back in the hat. 4 entries into the... you still didn't win. And I still didn't win the... 5! I had 5 entries into the cake contest, and I didn't win. Oh, no! I had 6 entries into the cake contest, and I didn't win. How'd that happen? I guess people actually do watch this show. Anyway, getting back to business here. Oh, no! 7 entries. Really? 7? Who is this? I think I must have made up names. I had 7 entries. My grandson, whose birthday is in July, didn't win the cake contest. Okay? My daughter, whose birthday is in June, she didn't win the cake contest either. And this is such a sad story. There's my daughter, and she was in there twice. She must have 2 birthdays or something. And who was this, I wonder? Well, I didn't win either. Oh, my brother didn't win either. His birthday was in June. He didn't win. I'm sorry, guys. I tried to win you a cake. Even my mother didn't win. Her birthday is in July. my brother, my sister, my kids, my grandchildren, and my sister who lives in Maryland. See, I entered my sister from Maryland's name in the cake contest, so obviously I'd have to get the cake and eat it. It's time to go to the news at the top of the hour. We'll be back with all positive news right after this.
Open mic.
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
It's 8:01.
WHAV Merrimack Valley. WHAV is a not-for-profit service of Public Media of New England Incorporated. It's heard on 1640 AM, the web, at whav.net, and participating cable television stations.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. The White House says it wants to work with Germany to resolve the case of a German intelligence service employee accused of spying for the United States. The report has raised concerns about a further major deterioration in bilateral ties, as FSN's Washington correspondent Daniel Renches reports.
Last week, a 31-year-old employee of the German Federal Intelligence Service was arrested and accused of stealing over 200 documents. White House spokesman Josh Earnest wouldn't comment on the case, but accentuated the positive.
That partnership is built on respect, and it's built on decades of cooperation and shared values. All of those things are high priorities, not just for this administration, but this country.
Leaked documents from former US intelligence contractor Edward Snowden last year included the revelation that the US was collecting data on millions of German citizens and that the US had monitored the cell phone of German Chancellor Angela Merkel.
Hamas is vowing retribution after a series of Israeli airstrikes on Gaza. The militant Palestinian organization says 5 of its supporters were killed in the strikes, but the Israelis say the men died after handling explosives. The head of Britain's National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children is to lead a review into historic allegations of child abuse by British politicians and public officials. From FSN's London bureau, Dan Whitehead reports.
The British Home Secretary Theresa May has told MPs an investigation has been launched into allegations of organised child abuse at Westminster back in the 1980s. Updating the House of Commons, Theresa May said the prosecution of the people behind these disgusting crimes is a priority. The allegations centre around reports there was a cover-up at Westminster surrounding a dossier containing information on those involved in a paedophile ring.
Edward Shevardnadze, the former Soviet foreign minister who was one of the architects of change in the USSR, has died at the age of 86. He went on to become the first president of the newly independent nation of Georgia. From FSN's Europe desk in Brussels, Jack Bevelaqua reports.
From a committed communist Soviet politician, Eduard Shevardnadze became the first head of state of the newly independent Republic of Georgia in 1992. Despite quelling a civil war in the country, he was overthrown from his position in the Rose Revolution of 2003 after allegations of corruptions and irregularities in parliamentary polls. Georgia is still in a precarious position politically, with many accusing the Russian Federation of causing unrest in the breakaway regions of Transnistria and South Ossetia.
As the World Cup continues in Brazil, soccer fans are mourning the loss of one of the game's greatest players of all time. Alfredo Di Stefano was a legend at Real Madrid in Spain. He was 88 and suffered a heart attack. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Here's what's happening in local news. A Haverhill man is due to be arraigned at Haverhill District Court on charges related to an alleged hit-and-run crash over the weekend. Haverhill police report 55-year-old Jose Pizarro of Haverhill was arrested shortly before 4:30 Saturday afternoon and charged with operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol and leaving the scene of an accident involving property damage. No further details are available at this time. The twin of Haverhill's Barefoot Boy is again on display in Whittier, California after a 4-year hiatus. According to the Los Angeles WHAV newspaper, the original Barefoot Boy statue was stored 4 years ago while a new police station was built and other improvements made. The barefoot boy reemerged last week at a new, specially built pond near the main Whittier Library, not unlike the pond inside the Haverhill Public Library. Artist Tina Hupp, who also authorized and supervised the Haverhill casting, created the bronze sculpture. Bernard J. Barney Gallagher was instrumental in having the barefoot boy come to Haverhill when his Haverhill High School classmate, Leewood Carter, offered to make a donation in the name of the, quote, illustrious class of 1939, end quote. In sports, WHAV's Nate Webster has this week's NASCAR race recap.
This weekend's race at Daytona International Speedway was rain delayed, then postponed, then rain shortened, and had two major wrecks involving at least half the field. The 43 car of Eric Almirola won Sunday's race 30 years to the day of Richard Petty's 200th win and launched him into the chase, making Almirola the 11th different driver of 2014. Eric says this win means a lot to him, especially after all the hard work and money put into his race team.
I couldn't have dreamed of a better place to get my first win. Man, of all the places I could pick to win, I would pick Daytona. Our sponsors have really stepped up in a big way, and it's just really gratifying to be able to give back to all the sponsors that took a chance on us and on our race team to be in the chase and to be able to go race for a championship. It is really special, and our race team deserves that.
The big one came at lap 97. Kyle Busch gets flipped on his roof, the two car of Keselowski goes airborne, and drivers like Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Clint Boyer, Ryan Newman, and Greg Biffle all make trips to the infield care center. NASCAR calls the race official when the skies opened up for the fourth time this weekend. Nate Webster, WHAV Sport.
Remember, WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source, and it's always free. In the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, this is Dana Esmel.
Wave weather.
I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre with Wave Weather. Heading through the nighttime hours, it's going to be partly cloudy, but really just about any time there could be a shower or thunderstorm moving on through. It's going to be muggy with a low of 69, maybe some fog late tonight too. Now, Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, hazy, humid, upper 80s to near 90, maybe a late-day thunderstorm. Tuesday night, a chance of a thunderstorm, partly cloudy otherwise, and 70. And then Wednesday, partly sunny, scattered thunderstorms and temperatures in the mid-80s. I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
Still not sure when your favorite features are broadcast? Check out the What's On page at www.whav.net for complete listings.
WHAV Merrimack Valley Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome back to the Open Mic. I'm Jack Bevelaqua here for the last half hour of tonight's Open Mic program. Don't forget, you got a chance to win a fabulous cake from Albie D's Italian Bakery, located here in Bradford, Massachusetts, 140 South Main Street. And their phone number is 978-241-9543. So, if you have a birthday or an anniversary or some other special occasion in the month of August, you can give us a call at 978-374-1900 and have your name entered into the Chinese cowboy hat so you can win a fabulous cake. It's a 7-inch cake. They make wonderful cakes there. I actually had one once. So I suggest that you shop there and so you get an idea as to what you're going to be winning if you draw your name. I'm disappointed because I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 entries for the June and July contest, and I didn't win. So it behooves you to call in and get a chance to win. It's much better than state lottery, and it tastes a heck of a lot better than a lottery ticket. Also, you can win a free ticket to the John Greenleaf Whittier birthplace if you can tell me where Hale's hot dog stand was located. 978-374-1900. That's the number to call if you'd like to take the cake contest or win a free ticket to the John Greenleaf Whittier birthplace. I mentioned that the last half hour was going to be positive, so I think that President Barack Obama is doing a good job. I think that Senator Elizabeth Warren is doing a fabulous job. Jean Shaheen is a great asset to the state of New Hampshire. I think that Plum Island is a great place to be. And I have noticed that Salisbury Center has been cleaned up dramatically and is a much nicer place to go. And the Mayor Fiorentini also seems to be doing a pretty good job. All in all, things look pretty good around here. What could be better than having a Democratic president and a Democratic governor and two Democratic U.S. senators who are quite liberal? I think it's a wonderful thing. That's all positive. And we have decent gun laws in Massachusetts. That's positive as well. And the bridges over the Merrimack River, the Rocks Village Bridge, I went over that the other day. I was surprised that they didn't put a a sidewalk on that bridge for bicycles to use or pedestrians, but the bridge isn't going to fall down, so that's good. The new Groveland Bridge looks fabulous. It's wider, has nice sidewalks, so that looks a lot better down in Groveland Square. I do wonder how come they don't use the traffic lights that they put in there. And I also noticed that they're redoing the Whittier Bridge over the Merrimack River with Route 95. So if you think about all the bridges here, the Como Bridge has been redone, the Bates Bridge has been redone, the Rocks Village Bridge has been redone, and they redid the Gillis Bridge down in Newburyport and the Chain Bridge. The one next to the train, there's two bridges down there at the Chain Bridge. There's a Chain Bridge and the other bridge there. There's an island in the middle, and they redid that. I mean, you're so safe around here with all the bridges, and they're redoing the bridge over for I-95 over the Merrimack River. So we got a call. See, positive comments lead to calls. Hello, you're on the open mic.
Hello, Jack. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. Long time no hear.
I think a lot of people think this is a rerun.
No.
I called Tim. I said, when he does reruns, I should get residuals. Don't you think so?
You didn't win the cake. And you had...
I didn't win the cake. I had 7 entries. I bet there's more in that hat.
That's not bad, because when I was on community auditions, my father sent in 300 postcards, and I come in second.
Wait a minute. You were on community auditions?
Yeah, 19 in the 50s, yeah.
You know, if you wanted to...
I got beat by 12 old ladies playing kazoos in funny costumes.
What did you do?
I was a singer.
I could sing that song for you if you'd like.
I sang professionally with a big band for 22 years.
You did?
It wasn't Georgie K.
How
Tony Brown.
How come I didn't know this? And how come Tim...
Well, we never talked. We talked about, yeah, it was great. I was making more money as a singer than I was as working for the Commonwealth.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How come we haven't arranged to have you come into the studio and sing?
I'm 86 now, Jack. I'm 86.
You got any tapes?
86.
I know you're 86, but do you have any old tapes?
Yes, I think I might have some, yeah. I wrote a song with another guy.
You wrote a song?
It's being sung around Merrimack Valley.
Is it called?
It's an Irish song called the First Rose of Killarney, and
I've heard that song before. That was you?
Yeah, that was me.
No kidding. So
yeah.
if they play that on the radio, you're supposed to get a piece of the action.
I know it. I know that, but it's nobody can. It's copyrighted, so nobody can touch it. Yeah. Me and another guy. His name was he was an Italian fellow. His name was De Pippo, and he was a real musician. He was a graduate of the conservatory.
No kidding.
Yeah, and we wrote this Irish song, and it was very popular around. It's been very popular around, Merrimack Valley. The different people have sung it. And
you should get a hold of E.J. Ouellette, and do you know him?
No, I don't.
Oh, he is a very good singer-songwriter, band leader here from Haverhill.
Yeah. The time I was singing with the band, and I know you know history pretty good. Georgie Cameron-Topoulos.
Oh, Georgie K's Crystal Room and Oval Room.
Yeah, Georgie K had a big band. Ted Herbert was at the, down the beach. I was with Tony Brown.
Did you used to play down at the beach?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, sure.
At the surf?
No, at the ballroom upstairs.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You must have been like a chick magnet, huh?
Musicians and marriage don't get along.
Did you have
Yeah, well,
You
know,
did. You said
everybody
yeah.
was, I was a lot light. I wasn't as heavy in those days. I had a full head of hair.
Well, so what? All you're going to do is put a wig on and sing.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah,
at
there
Mick
was
Jagger.
a good
He's got to be
day, yeah.
70-something years old.
Hey, I was watching the city council meeting in Methuen, and so I missed most of your program. The two things came up, and I thought I'd get what your feelings are. Number one is they want to reduce the rates for farmers in Methuen. In other words, you reduce the water rates, and
well,
my feeling is they've already had a piece of the pie with what's called the APR program. You're familiar with that?
If you're in APR, I think you should get a break.
Agricultural Preservation and Restriction Act.
Yes.
That's when when a farmer who has land, he sells his land. He promises not to allow it to be developed.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, and you have?
I am familiar with that
and
program.
He gets a stipend, right? He gets a pretty good check.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, but in addition to that, he gets 2 acres to live on and 2 acres for each member of his family. So
I didn't know
it's not a
that.
bad deal. And then sometimes what happens is a developer comes along and they get a smart attorney, and they voluntarily pay the back taxes, and for a fraction probably of what they would have paid.
I think they're supposed to retroactively pay the difference going back to the time it was put into APR.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Hopefully that happens.
The other thing is that it's not really conducive by lowering the water rates. It's not really conducive to the things that we should be doing, like conserving water, right? Because
I don't think that the water rate should be lowered. However, I would say that if there are if there are water sources in Methuen, like lakes or the river or whatever, I do think that farmers should be able to have access to that.
Well, this particular farm that's really concerned and interested in this idea has a well on it. Of course, we shut it down years ago when I was with DEP because it was surrounded by agricultural uses, including, and they had a slaughterhouse there too. Oh, that'd be a good trivia question, huh?
What?
Oh, what farm had a slaughterhouse in Methuen?
Borelli's.
You know?
It's an Italian name.
Yeah, it's Italian, but not Borelli.
I forget.
Bonanno.
I was close. I had the B.
Yeah, he's really a smart guy. He's a PhD in plant entomology.
No kidding.
He's president of the Farm Bureau. He's a very good speaker. So I expected him at the meeting tonight, but they didn't take it up seriously because I think they got a lot of objections to it.
Yeah, perhaps. What was the other issue?
Pardon?
What was the other issue you wanted to mention?
Oh, the other issue is they raised again for the second time in 2 years the ambulance rates.
You know what? The economy isn't really bustling right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think people are getting pay raises all over the place.
No.
Okay.
I'll give you an example of what happened to me a year ago. I took a heart attack.
You did. I'm sorry to hear that.
I had, the usual quad bypasses and stents. And anyway, my wife called the ambulance, and the Methuen ambulance came to the house, but they couldn't move me because they weren't certified.
What good is that?
Yeah, they weren't certified to handle a heart patient like myself.
Oh my God! I mean, what kind? You have an ambulance with people they don't know what to do?
Yeah. Well, they were EMTs. In order to treat a person like me, they have to have a paramedic aboard. Well, Methuen doesn't have a paramedic program, and as a result, I sat there for about 20 minutes while they got the other ambulance from Lawrence General Hospital, which uses Patriot.
So why do they have an ambulance service in Methuen with people who aren't qualified to deal with heart attack patients?
Well, they're EMTs, and they can handle everything else except, as I said, people with heart conditions. like you're right. You know, my feelings about it was, yeah, okay, you want to raise the rates. Oh, by the way, in that particular case, I got my insurance companies were billed for. I think the total bill for the two insurance claims was almost $3,000.
Oh, so your insurance company got billed for the first ambulance that couldn't help you,
yeah,
and then the second one.
There were two bills, and I had good insurance, like you. I was a state employee, so you and I, we both had GIC, right?
Yes, that's right. But let's not tell too many people that.
And then in addition to that, I had Medicare A and B. So Medicare A, the total bill between Medicare A and B and GIC was approximately around plus or minus $3,000, plus co-payments. I had to pay some small co-payments too.
Well, that's
it was like an entourage going down the Holy
but
Family
you have to
Hospital.
pay for the ambulance that can't help you. What good is that? It's like paying a mechanic who doesn't fix your car.
Yeah.
So I'm opposed
the thing
to knee-jerk reaction. I'm
if they
opposed
raise the
to
rates,
water.
What I was hoping they might consider would be to make the Methuen ambulance department whole. In other words, get them certified.
I believe there's training available.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Take some of that money that they're generating in fees, which is, oh God, a lot of money, and now they want to raise it again. It almost seems to me like the humane thing is out of it. They're more or less interested in generating revenue than they are in saving people's lives.
Well, I tend to agree with you.
Well, thank you very much, Jack. Nice to hear from you.
Nice to hear from you. I'll see you again in 6 months.
Yeah, that'll be wonderful.
Unless Tim decides to open
I wish you were on next week.
Unless next week Tim has to open a Western regional office.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. What do you think?
All
Okay,
right.
we got to go
Thank
now.
you very much, Jack.
Nice talking to you. Thank you. Time for a break. We'll be back right after this.
Open mic!
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
Phil Christie here. Did you know you can hear comedy and drama every night? Listen to these remastered classics at 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Only local radio can bring you this combination of music, news, and features. But only WHAV does.
Open mic!
Every Monday night, the Open Mic Show brings interesting guests into your homes, presents your take on current events, and dabbles in little-known local history. I'm Tim Coco, your host, inviting you to join the chorus of community voices beginning at 6:30 Monday nights right here on WHAV. You may also watch this 50-year staple of democracy live at WHAV.tv and Haverhill Community Television, Channel 22. The Open Mic Show was brought to you by Northern Essex Community College, the Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council, and WHAV members. Remember, only local radio can bring you this talk opportunity, but only WHAV does. Community Spotlight is brought to you by Haverhill Bank. Haverhill Bank is a generous supporter of the area's civic and cultural programs.
All it takes is just one bank. Haverhill Bank. Community Spotlight.
This is Anna Chipolis, a volunteer with Animal Rescue, Merrimack Valley. You can help provide food, medical care, and sterilization clinics for feral, stray, and foster cats. ARMV donation boxes are at Market Basket stores at River's Edge and Westgate Plazas in Haverhill, Market Basket and Shaw's in Plastown, New Hampshire, Market Baskets in North Andover and Lawrence, and Stop and Shop in Methuen. Donations may also be dropped off at weekly adoption events at Pecco in Plastown, New Hampshire. For more information about ARMV, call 978-374-7233 or visit online at armv.org.
Someone you know is on WHAV.
To submit or read your own nonprofit announcements, click on the news page at WHAV.net or email news@WHAV.net.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
I wonder if I can go, welcome to the Open Mic with Tim Coco. The Open Mic, I wonder who does that? Tim Coco. I used to be able to talk like that. Tim Coco. We have a caller. I'm going to talk like that the rest of the time. Hello, folks, we have a caller. Hello, you're on the Open Mic. Hello, you still there? I think I scared him away. I think my fake voice scared him away. Hello, you're on the Open Mic with with Jack Bevelaqua. I forgot my name. Isn't that bad? Anyway, there's only 5 minutes left of the Open Mic program. Still a chance for you to win the free admission to the John Greenleaf Whittier birthplace. I thought we had 2 calls waiting. Yes, it's out.
Well, we're going to put the call through on this side, so just listen.
Tim Coco said that I had 2 calls waiting, but apparently I don't. Admit one.
Jack.
Hello. I can't hear you.
You can't hear? Oh, well, I'm on speakers. Let me put you back on. Jack.
Hello. You're on the Open Mic program. Welcome aboard.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And how are you this evening?
I'm fine. I'm having fun here on the Open Mic program.
Yeah, I know. You look like you're having fun. You told me to call, so I'm calling.
Don't tell people I have to beg for callers.
Yeah, right. Hey, what's the topic for this evening?
Oh, we have all kinds of topics. We talked about Harbor Place, the place in downtown Haverhill, to replace the Woolworth building, the bottle bill, the god-awful Groveland Community TV, how Senator Ives should be a Republican instead of a Democrat, Plum Island, how we spend a lot of money down there, and after we do it, the people don't want us to be there. And then I asked people what they did on their summer vacation. The Chamber of Commerce.
I like the Plum Island topic. I know someone that lives on Plum Island.
You do?
Yes. Greg Elliott.
Just Greg E. We don't give
Greg.
last names on the show. We do? You do? How come I've never met Greg E.?
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a few years.
Oh.
He has a house down there. We talked about this over the week yesterday.
Oh. I forget. I talked about the Pawtucket High School, the bridges that have been replaced here in the Merrimack Valley, and how good they look.
Well, he's on the leeward side, so his property's not falling into the water.
Well, you know what's going to happen is that island is going to be breached by the waves, and right when you go on the island and go straight, it's all lowland, right near the Sportsman's, it's called the Sportsman's Lodge. No, it's called
the mainland side.
Yeah, the Beachcomber is on the left, and there's a little variety store, and the ocean's going to come through there, and the Merrimack River is going to relocate, and the leeward side is going to get wiped out.
I'll tell you how. That'll happen in my lifetime, I think.
I just like to make up these scenarios. I should be on the Weather Channel.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
We'll get Jim Cantori up here, and the two of you can face the next nor'easter.
Oh, that's right. I would love to be on the Weather Channel. I can go stand in a snowdrift and get blown away and look dramatic and say, oh, my God, we've got 2 inches of snow. It's a disaster.
Yeah. Well, even his own people are making fun of him now because he's always theatrical when it comes to these
I know. We could get like a little gust of wind I could fall over or something. If you stand with a microphone under a wave, it's going to look dramatic, don't you think?
Well, yeah. But you know how it is. It's the Jim Cantori. He's like the bodybuilder. They send him out there. I think Glenn Ledlow, whatever his name is, dwarfs him.
They should send me out there. I'm a bodybuilder.
Yeah, you're a bodybuilder, Jack.
And I was also talking about the god-awful gun stores with the pink guns.
The pink guns, the ones that have the signs that say "Don't pull the triggers."
Don't pull the triggers, and firearms welcome here.
Yeah, that was rather interesting.
I think it is rather interesting.
Well, you just went off the air, my friend. It must be 8:30.
Okay, thank you for calling.
Okay, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
I think that's going to wrap things up for the open mic for tonight. Don't forget the open mic is on these same stations every Monday night from 6:30 until 8:30. Thank you for listening. That's it.
Open mic.
Join Tim Coco live on the Open Mic again next Monday night at 6:30. The opinions expressed on the Open Mic show are not necessarily those of WHAV, its underwriters, or affiliated stations. The Open Mic show came to you from the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom.
It's 8:31.
For live and local talk, listen to the Open Mic Show, Monday nights. You can also see the program at www.whav.tv. Only local radio can bring you this talk opportunity, but only WHAV does.
Catch the wave.
On the next, Making Contact.
Rub it on the head or everywhere in the body. The raw eggs are amazingly strong, and I found that the best eggs are eggs from happy chickens.
Natural healing can take many forms. These days, the Latin American curandera is emerging in the U.S. after generations of going underground.